All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special episode on BCP Plus. We are not worthy, guys. Please welcome into the show someone we've seen here big time in the Northeast, someone who's, let's be real, been running through that TNA roster right now, someone who I believe is in his Megazord final form right now. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Santana. Santana, thanks so much, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you guys, man. I appreciate being a part of this.
It's so good to have you here, man. First and foremost, back in June when we were up here, ECW Arena, TNA came through. You
Yep.
guys were crushing it. And I'm watching these matches. I'm watching this roster. And right now, and not to be cliche, but there's something very special about this lineup, about this roster, about this
hmm
product right now. Is that some sort of momentum that you're feeling going on right now with TNA wrestling?
Absolutely. I feel like right now everyone has the same mindset. Everyone is pushing for the same goal. Everyone is trying to elevate not just themselves, but the company as a whole. And I think that's the best thing that you could ask for is everyone having that same mindset and it just makes work easy, right? It makes everybody want to push harder and yeah, man, it's crazy right now. We got some of the best talent on the roster. We've been killing all the shows. All the shows have been selling out, and that's just a testament to the what's happening in the ring and what's happening behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So everybody's on point right now.
Including yourself. You've been killing it. And we talk about the Northeast here, but someone you may know, someone you had a show stealer with, our guy we've been covering his whole career, Mr. KC Navarro. You guys went
Mhm.
out there and you tore the house down. It wasn't just like you didn't run through them. You guys went
Yeah.
to war out there. What was it like having that match with KC, man? Did you have something to prove? Do you see something in this kid, man? What was it like out there?
It's funny. I've known Casey since he was 17 years old. So just seeing his progression and seeing how much work he's been putting in the ring, traveling around to his body, like you could tell this kid is taking it as serious as possible. And that's something that I commend because I was there, you know what I mean? And I'm there now. So yeah, man, I just wanted to give him a chance to showcase himself and put in that work. You know what I mean? I knew that once I realized that I was coming to work and coming to work with him, I knew it wasn't going to be no cakewalk, and I wasn't taking it as such. You know what I mean? I looked at that match as almost like I was talking with one of my friends. I looked at that match as like Bret Hart and 1, 2, 3 Kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It
love
was,
that.
yeah, it was pretty much, a veteran taking this young up and comer and, you know, showing the world what he could do. And yeah, man, he's really good and the sky's the limit for him, man. I think he's going to do really well in the future. And as long as he stays consistent, that's the name of the game, consistency.
Obviously you know TNA very well. Is there anyone else back there, not to be cliche, that you see
Mhm.
that is just as hungry as Casey, someone else you may want to work with that you haven't locked up with yet?
Leon Slater is definitely one of the
Yeah.
guys. He's on a upward trajectory right now. He's putting in the work. He's staying consistent. He's having bangers with everyone he comes across. I was actually talking to him recently, and I told him I had went and did progress the strong style tournament, and I saw him work, and I was telling him I was like, "Yo, this new crop of UK guys." That's coming up right now, I mean, nasty.
Yeah.
Like, and he's definitely one of them holding down the fort. So, yeah, he's definitely one of the guys I'd love to work with. Um, and another one, Jason Hotch, he's another guy that I feel like if he's given the opportunity, he's a great worker. But yeah, man, like I said, like the roster is stacked right now. We got the veterans, we got up and comer younger guys. So like it's a mix of a who's who. I love
All right, now that we're done putting people over, let's talk about you, Santana. Let's talk
it.
about you had that fatal four-way match, you had that opportunity. It was a
Yeah.
25% chance of getting that tap on the shoulder to move forward for that TNA World Championship. Didn't pan out this time, man. But for you right
Yeah.
now, what are the short-term goals after a loss like that?
Uh, for me, honestly, like I've said this before, obstacles are something that I'm used to in my life. You know what I mean? And those are things that actually make me feel comfortable because I've always said I thrive in the trenches, bro. Like I love having adversity against me. I love having obstacles because it just makes me want it that much more. And for me, this was the second time that I had an opportunity to go uh, and wrestle for the world title. Um, and it didn't pan out the way I wanted, but if anything, it made me want it even more. So I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep working to that goal, and there's nothing stopping me, honestly. Like this is one of those bumps in the road, you know what I mean? And continuing to prove that I am who I say I am.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you're putting on killer matches while doing it. And I do want to ask you this, man. Very publicly, you brought up on CVV overcoming some obstacles in life. Some
Yeah,
obstacles that may hit closer to home than people than others, and that's addiction. Right
yeah,
here, my girlfriend, 10 years. I think yesterday, 10 years sober of opiates and drugs, which is
awesome.
amazing. She actually got to wrestle. She was the opening match at that TNA show on June 29th. So just very proud of her. And when you publicly share what you've overcome, you talked about your daughter's Christmas list and what she wanted.
Yeah.
Is there anything, whatever you're comfortable with sharing, is there anything that you may want to say to someone who may be struggling with addiction or maybe the families? Because it really does affect everybody.
Absolutely. As addicts, when we're entrenched in that, like we always only think that we're hurting ourselves. We don't see the people around us that are hurting. You know what I mean? And it's a very selfish thing. And honestly, like, and I tell everyone this. I also have my younger brother. He's an addict and he's still struggling. Um, and I always say you have to want it, but you can't want it for others. You have to want it for yourself. You have to get to a point where you love yourself enough to say, "Hey, I want better for me." And also, it's a day at a time. It's an everyday struggle. I'm 676 days today, and I tell myself like I can't uh, overwhelm myself with the thought of, "Oh, I'm never gonna drink or do drugs ever again." To me, that's like such an impossible thought. It's just for today. You know what I mean? And every day is the same thing. Every day I wake up and I'm go through the day and I'm like, all right, today is I'm not gonna drink or do drugs. But also, finding that thing within yourself that makes you appreciate life, and it's a process. You know what I mean? When I went through rehab, I went through 30 days. It was like an intense therapy session. That's what it is. And but to me, those were the most rewarding 30 days of my life because it allowed me to truly deal with the things that I never dealt with or the things that I didn't know how to deal with. And me coming, my background and coming, being raised the way I was and having experienced certain things, like I wasn't taught how to deal with my problems. And also, I honestly didn't have the time to deal with them. It was like, all right, something happened, on to the next. Life goes on. But if anyone knows, it's like that's the worst way to deal with things. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, a day at a time, and find it within you. You know,
Love it, man. And thank you for sharing that. Santana, last one for me. I want to be respectful of your
absolutely.
time, man. And thank you again for sharing that, man. I always end with this question, man. We're big proponents of the Indian talent here in the Northeast, man. You have killed it on the Indies here for years and years and years, man. Always love seeing you back in the day, man. Any advice would you have for some of these up and comers right now on the independents?
Uh, I always say either you want it or you don't want it. It's as simple as that. If you want it, put in the work, stay consistent, leave the bubble. You have to travel out. You have to get your name in different territories. You're not going to really accomplish anything staying in one place. Um, and work with people that are better than you because that's how you're going to get better. You have to go out there. You have to compete against different people and do your homework, know your history, watch wrestling, become obsessed. You have to be obsessed with it. Just like with anything in life, with any profession, if you want to be successful at it, you got to be obsessed with it. And yeah, man, just staying consistent and putting in the work.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Santana, so much. We'll be there, of course, in Dallas on the 19th for Genesis. TNA presents Genesis. It's going to be great. Santana, just continued success. Thank you for opening up. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Appreciate you, man. Thanks so much.
Likewise. Thank you, man.
And guys, like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace.
We out.
BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks Podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin, only on the No Gimmicks Podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back our sponsors, Sweet Chin Musings. Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE-recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Conor McCallum. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure, with over 150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for the months of May and June, J. Adam Photography. Jay provides quality, artistic, innovative photography with a quick turnaround time. Be sure to check out his latest ISPW wrestling pics and much more stellar content. Right now, wrestlers can do a special portrait shoot with Jay in Sparta, New Jersey for just $50. Contact Jay at Jay Vogel on Facebook and be sure to follow him across socials. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring the BCP. Guys, let's welcome in our new pod sponsor, Cooper Groove Grips. When you play Cooper Groove drumsticks, you get increased sensory feedback from your hands, so your grip will naturally loosen, but you have complete control. With that taking place, you don't have fatigue and soreness, which can lead to long-term issues. Guys, as a drummer, Cooper Groove is my drumstick of choice. Sweaty hands aren't a problem. Grip is good. Don't forget to check out their amazing Cooper Groove bats coming out soon. Guys, follow at Cooper Groove Grips on Facebook. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsors, ISPW Weekly, where we dive deep into the world of ISPW, the crossroads of professional wrestling. Join Jumpin' Jay and Total with Tom every week as they interview the stars of the ring, uncover their stories, rivalries, and the electrifying action that defines ISPW. Be sure to check out ISPW Weekly on the ISPW Facebook page every week. Please welcome in our new pod and daily site sponsor, Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa, located in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Twisted Shamrock is a retro spa experience for the average Joe and Jane. Meet the next evolution of recovery and relaxation. Right now, you can try their introductory offer, where you can try a core service to include massage, skincare, facial, stretch therapy, body slimming, toning, personal training, and spray tanning for 30 minutes for just $30. This is perfect for our wrestling pals as well. Book today. Call 484-574-8868 or visit www.twistedshamrockstudiospa.com. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for 2025, the Ropes and Riffs podcast, featuring Maestro John Kiernan, speaking with the stars of professional wrestling about their in-ring, tunage, gear, and so much more. Check out John's interviews with the likes of Lince Dorado, Mercedes Martinez, and so much more. Find the Ropes and Riffs podcast on all major podcast platforms.